The Tournament of Power takes place after the events of the Goku Black Arc. Following the fight with Zamasu, life back on Earth returns to normal. Goku's back to his job as a delivery driver, and he stops his truck to help someone on the side of the road, but is attacked by carjackers. Unwilling to give up his truck, Goku easily dodges all of the robbers' attacks and gunshots, except for one bullet which manages to graze his arm. Goku says to himself that he's getting out of shape, and then goes to drop off the criminals at the police station, receiving a bounty that he believes will be enough to please his wife Chi-Chi, who will allow him to continue his training. Goku then attempts to call Whis through his communication device, but for some reason he's not answering. We cut to Beerus' planet as Whis is busy training Vegeta. Beerus comments that Vegeta seems more into the training than usual, the Oracle Fish then stating that it's because Goku was stronger than him during the battle with Zamasu. Fed up with the Saiyans' rivalry nonsense and disregarding the fish's prophecy of them one day becoming his strongest rivals, Beerus attempts to leave for a nap. The Oracle Fish insists, however, that Goku and Vegeta will indeed be his strongest rivals. Unable to accept what he's hearing, Beerus immediately switches gears, insisting that Vegeta attempt to challenge him again. Vegeta agrees and rushes in as a Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus acknowledges the newfound power, but states that this is just a mere power-up from Super Saiyan God and still isn't enough to reach his level. Beerus continues to easily dodge each of Vegeta's attacks, eventually slapping him into the water with just his tail. Calmly rising himself out of the water, Vegeta calms his spirit in Super Saiyan Blue, similar to Goku in his battle with Merged Zamasu. Whis wonders when Vegeta learned to do this, but Vegeta simply responds that if Kakarot can do it, so can he. Beerus resumes the fight, and it appears that Vegeta has already improved a bit more. Whis notes that Vegeta appears to have complete control over Super Saiyan Blue now, and that perhaps Goku is no longer ahead of him anymore. The Oracle Fish wonders if Beerus is actually taking the fight seriously, and Whis reveals he's still playing around, but he should probably sharpen up soon, or he'll eventually take a hit and lose his temper. And just like that, Vegeta lands a clean punch to Beerus' face, surprising the Oracle Fish and Whis. Beerus, however, ferociously grips Vegeta's hand and tells him not to get overconfident. The Oracle Fish foresees the coming events and tells Whis to create a barrier, but the angel seems to have misplaced his staff. With a massive explosion, Beerus slams Vegeta into the ground, stating the Saiyan got carried away while he was going easy on him. The deity then states that Vegeta has certainly improved and could perhaps be a candidate for a god of destruction in another universe, but he still has a long way to go before catching up to him. Whis chats with Vegeta, telling him that he did well, but notes that he still thinks first and moves later, which is limiting to his fighting style. Rather, he needs to let every part of his body think and move on its own, which is something not even Beerus himself has mastered. Vegeta states that he still has a long way to go, then saying that he and Kakarot are equals, but they're far from reaching their full potential. Whis asks Vegeta if he would like to intensify his training, but the Saiyan states he needs to return to Earth and won't be coming back for a while. Goku finally gets his call through to Whis and says he'd like to meet up to train and invite Vegeta along, but Whis responds that Vegeta is already on Beerus' planet, but is just about to leave. Goku and Whis question Vegeta's departure, and it's then revealed that his second child is about to be born. 1 hour later, Whis and Vegeta arrive back on Earth. Goku questions Vegeta not coming along again, but the Saiyan Prince says he doesn't want to leave Bulma during her pregnancy. Goku still doesn't understand what that has to do with Vegeta, and then states he wasn't around when Goten or Gohan were born. Vegeta then claims that Goku may not be a bad person, but he's a horrible father. Goku then tells Vegeta not to get mad if he winds up stronger than him and departs with Whis, leaving Vegeta to convince himself that he made the right decision. Goku, Beerus, and Whis enjoy some Earth food before moving on to training and nap time. Before Beerus steps away though, Goku wants to talk about the promise they made to the Omni King about the Universal Tournament, but Beerus demands they drop the issue and not bother Zeno. Even Whis agrees, as they explain that the Omni King's purity is what makes him so scary. He has the power to destroy an entire universe, and this must not be treated lightly. Goku, however, still has the device given to him when future Trunks appeared, with one side summoning the Omni King and the other side allowing him to transport to him. With a smirk, Goku flips the device, presses the button, and disappears, much to Beerus' shock. Beerus seems to take responsibility for the situation, given he was the reason Goku was introduced to the Omni King in the first place during the tournament between universes 6 and 7. We then cut to Zeno's palace, as the present and future Omni King seem to be engaged in a game against each other, but they pause to ask the Grand Priest about the mortal levels in the different universes. As expected, Universe 1 is leading, followed by Universe 12. There haven't been significant changes in the other universes, and some are revealed to have even declined slightly. The Omni Kings decide that they don't need all 12 universes and lose interest in observing them, then collectively agreeing to keep only 4 universes and erase the rest. The Grand Priest agrees and requests the withdrawal of the guide angels from those universes. Just as their plans seem to be set in motion, Goku arrives and asks the Omni King for a favor. The Saiyan mentions that they discussed the Universal Tournament, and he wants to know if they'll be able to get it going. The respective Omni Kings seem to have forgotten, but they decide to proceed with it soon. The Grand Priest suggests giving the other universes some time to prepare, and they settle on starting the tournament in 5 ticks, which equates to roughly 40 hours in Earth time. Goku plans to get ready immediately, but the Grand Priest informs him that he must wait while he informs the other gods of destruction. Using his staff, the Grand Priest contacts all the guide angels. Various gods of destruction receive the message, including Gioooku from Universe 10, who's being scolded by his god of destruction over the Zamasu incident. One god of destruction, Belmont from Universe 11, is surrounded by a group of women when he's contacted. When Belmont's angel attendant tries to inform him about the Grand Priest's call though, one of the surrounding women get angry and threatens the angel with a knife. Belmont erases the woman, mentioning he was about to destroy the entire planet anyway. Back at Zeno's palace, the Grand Priest summons all the angels, gods of destruction, and Supreme Kai of their respective universes. The Supreme Kai from Universe 8 though plans to arrive a little bit later as he's using the bathroom. The gods then appear before the Grand Priest, Omni Kings, and Goku, lined up on both sides of the room, kneeling in formation. Belmont, the god of destruction from Universe 11, brings along Toppo, a warrior who's revealed to be a candidate to become the next god of destruction upon Belmont's retirement. The gods from Universe 8 then arrive, completing the audience. The Grand Priest then announces that in 5 ticks, they'll hold the Tournament of Power with participants from each universe. The seemingly robotic god of destruction Moscow from Universe 3 expresses concern over the limited preparation time, but the universe's angel quickly lies, stating that the god of destruction believes it's wonderful to participate so soon to avoid being erased by the Omni Kings. The present day Omni King then points to the future Omni King, indicating that he's unaware of what's happening as he's never seen any battles. The Grand Priest then suggests holding a Zen exhibition match and promptly creates the tournament arena, then inviting all the gods of destruction to enter the stage and prepare to fight one another. As the deities show signs of shock and hesitation at this unusual request, one of the Omni Kings urges them to hurry up. The Grand Priest explains that everyone must give it their all during the fight or they'll face erasure at the hands of the Omni Kings. Beerus gets into an argument concerning strength with Quintella, the god of destruction from Universe 4, who apparently beat him in an arm wrestling contest once before. Goku then cheers on Beerus, who chastises him as he's the one responsible for this mess in the first place. He immediately regrets this though, as upon hearing this, the other gods of destruction all turn their attention to Beerus, stating that he's dug his own grave as none of them would be here if it wasn't for him. They also point out that this isn't the first time his actions have put everyone in a position of being erased. The Supreme Kai of Universe 7 inquires about this, and Whis explains to both him and Goku that long ago, they once held a universal game of hide and seek at the request of the Omni King. Unfortunately, the game was cancelled though, because Beerus fell asleep for 50 years after hiding. The Omni Kings became furious, and the other universes all had to work really hard to please him to avoid erasure. As such, the gods of destruction all held a grudge against Beerus ever since. Before the exhibition begins, as expected, all the gods of destruction decide to attack Beerus together. The Grand Priest begins the match and everyone rushes in, as Beerus is able to dodge most of their attacks, with Whis mentioning to Goku that his body can sense attacks while making the decision to dodge all on its own. Moscow, however, ends up grabbing Beerus between his hands, and Whis points out that even Beerus isn't perfect. Beerus breaks free and disappears right before taking attacks from 3 gods of destruction at once. Some of the other gods fly into the air to deal with him, but mistakenly attack Champa instead of Beerus, who then appears under a fallen Moscow and takes the opportunity to fire a massive blast their way, though Sidra, the god of destruction from Universe 9, creates a barrier to protect them. Belmont then jumps in and quickly kicks Sidra away, noting how he left himself open, and after all, only one universe can be the winner here. All the while, both the Omni Kings along with Goku all appear to be more and more excited over the prospect of the tournament. Belmont traps all the gods of destruction in a series of bubbles and throws a fury of playing card looking energy shots at them, but Liquor, the god of destruction from Universe 8, is able to break free and uses his multiple tails to shoot blasts at Belmont, creating a giant explosion. Liquor, however, is caught off guard by Hellas, the god of destruction from Universe 2, who quickly shoots an arrow at him as it appears to strike his head, but it actually pierced his arm, much to his anger. The god of destruction from Universe 10, known as Ramush, then freezes everyone in their tracks with his battle roar before rushing in to attack. The surrounding Supreme Kai from other universes suddenly faint, and even Goku says he can't feel his body. Whis then reveals that Ramush possesses the greatest lungs in all the universes, and his screams are powerful enough to paralyze the nerves of anyone who hears it, although the angels themselves aren't affected. He then goes on to say that even the gods of destruction should barely be standing, as we cut to Champa and the other gods who stand frozen as Ramush rushes in, knocking the lot of them away. The gods continue their battle, and at this point, even Goku is having a hard time making sense of the ridiculous power and insanity of the match. As they continue their assault on each other, other, the Omni Kings state that they can't see anything and become bored at witnessing an arena full of battle dust. We then cut to Quitilla, who deals a shocking blow to Ewan, the god of destruction from Universe 1, seemingly knocking him out. He then turns his attention to Beerus, who knocks out Ramush. The two trash talk a bit and rush in to settle the score, but the Grand Priest stops their punches with a mere finger, surprising them. The Angel states that the exhibition match was too intense for the Omni Kings to enjoy and cancels it, as we witness Belmont smiling on the ground, who doesn't appear to be battle damaged at all. As the universe's angels heal their respective gods of destruction, the Omni Kings consider throwing out the entire idea of a tournament and just erasing the unwanted universes as discussed. However, Goku urges them to reconsider, as after all, fights between mortals won't be at the level of the gods of destruction. The Omni King then tells Goku to show them how he fights, and the Grand Priest calls Toppo from Universe 11 as his opponent. In order to make the match more interesting for the Omni Kings, the Grand Priest announces that flying, weapons, and killing will all be prohibited, and the first person to touch the outside of the ring will be the loser. Whis is then questioned by Korn, the Angel of Universe 11, on Goku's manners toward the Omni King. Whis, however, explains that Goku actually helped the Omni King once, and so there's familiarity between them, shocking Korn. Toppo wonders whether Goku is also a candidate to become a god of destruction, but Goku responds that he has no interest in that and simply wants to get stronger. As the fight begins, Goku rushes in as a regular Super Saiyan, Whis figuring the Saiyan is likely doing this to observe his opponent. With no attacks landing, Toppo tells Goku to get serious. Meanwhile, the future Omni King is impressed by Goku's transformations, and the present Omni King says that Goku has even more in store for them. The Grand Priest asks Whis how many transformations Goku has, to which the angel replies 5 total. The Omni Kings happily say they want to see them all, and Whis instructs Goku to display all his transformations in this fight, to which he agrees. Goku then transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, but the Omni Kings don't feel anything different from the first transformation. Nervous about upsetting them, Beerus yells for the Saiyan to go Super Saiyan 3, to which the Omni Kings think it looks scary and fun. Goku rushes in, but is still unable to land anything against Toppo, who finally responds with impressive speed and punches of his own. Goku is forced to ramp things up again, this time to Super Saiyan God, which even the gods of destruction and Toppo acknowledge as having the feeling of a true deity. Toppo, however, refuses to lose and lures Goku into the air, but the Grand Priest reminds him that flying is prohibited. Before he can process another thought though, Toppo fires a blast at the Saiyan and knocks him out of the air, but he quickly recovers and launches himself back in. The two launch a fury of attacks at one another, and the Omni Kings acknowledge how amazing both fighters are. Beerus then stating that Goku is finally a match for Toppo now that he's a Super Saiyan God. Beerus then yells for Goku to stop playing and turn Super Saiyan Blue to finish the match, but as Goku transforms and pulls back a punch, Toppo lands a massive kick to Goku's stomach, launching him out of the ring and declaring Toppo the winner. Goku states he's impressed with Toppo's power, but the man reveals that he's only the second strongest warrior from Universe 11. He mentions a stronger warrior named Jiren and says that he's even stronger than him, surprising Goku. Toppo states he has a long way to go before he could reach Jiren's strength, and further goes on to say that based on combat skill alone, Jiren is stronger than Universe 11's god of destruction, Belmont. Goku attempts to comprehend how there could possibly be someone stronger than Toppo in Universe 11, especially since he's a candidate for a god of destruction. However, the Saiyan is excited for the tournament and the possibility of there being so many strong guys out there, Toppo then thinking Goku is quite odd. The Grand Priest speaks with the Omni Kings in the background and announces a change to the rules of the Tournament of Power. He says that each universe shall select 10 competitors and that knocking an opponent out of the ring is the method for disqualification. The tournament will last 100 tacks, or approximately 48 minutes, and will be a battle royale with all opponents fighting in the ring together at the same time. The team with the most remaining fighters at the end will be declared the winner, or in the case that only one fighter is left, that fighter's universe will be the winner. Additionally, the Super Dragon Balls will be given to the last man standing, and as such, the Grand Priest asks Champa to hand over the 3 he's already collected in secret, and they'll gather the remaining ones. The Universe 3 Supreme Kai asks if the winning universe itself will gain anything as a reward, but the Grand Priest explains that they'll receive nothing. Instead, the losing universes will be erased by the Omni King one by one. However, universes 1, 5, 8, and 12 will be exempt from the tournament due to their higher mortal level, which means that only 5 universes total will remain in the end. The erasure of the losing universes will include all of the gods and exclude angels, of course, which further puts everyone into a panic. Beerus wonders if their mortal level is actually that low, and Whis explains that their universe ranks 3.18, which is the second lowest rating. With a little under 39 hours until the tournament begins in the world of Void, the Grand Prix Priest tells everyone to begin gathering their team, then adding that the use of weapons and medicine is forbidden, so anyone who's caught using them will be immediately disqualified. The Grand Priest then teleports everyone back to their homes to begin recruiting their teammates. Beerus slaps Goku in the head, furious with their predicament, though the Supreme Kai rightfully notes it sounds like the Omni Kings were going to erase the universes anyway before deciding on the tournament, so Goku's suggestion gave them a literal fighting chance to save themselves. Beerus, however, doubts their universe's chances to win, since Goku was defeated by Toppo moments ago. Goku suggests going to ask Zeno to call off the plans for erasure, but Whis advises against this, stating that the Omni Kings and Grand Priest have made up their minds, and if Goku tries to change things now, he may offend them and get himself erased. Beerus delivers another "I told you so" to Goku, and since the best fighters are probably on Earth anyway, they decide to make their way to Bulma's to eat up and start planning. Meanwhile, in Universe 11, Belmont is relatively unfazed by their predicament, fully confident in Toppo and the Pride Troopers, so long as the mysterious fighter Jiren participates. Back at Capsule Corps, Vegeta and Bulma are in disbelief at Goku's incompetence. The group then discuss that since there's no written exam this time like in the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, they can bring Buu along to fight. Vegeta, of course, is a natural choice to add to the team, but the Saiyan refuses as his second child still hasn't been born yet. Whis then appears holding a blanket and with a quick motion of his eyes, delivers the baby immediately from Bulma. With Vegeta now able to participate, the group moves on to figuring out the rest of their team. Apparently, there are only 28 planets in Universe 7 with life on them, as planets Sadala, Vegeta, and Namek have all been destroyed. However, Supreme Kai had not observed all of them in terms of combat strength, excluding them from consideration. We suggest they continue from the previous tournament's team of Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Buu. Goku then suggests Monaka, but Beerus forbids it, saying Monaka is sick. Vegeta questions if Gohan can fight, but Goku is unsure. Goku states they should bring Goten and Trunks, but Vegeta says to leave the kids out of it. Goku then figures they can bring Master Roshi, Tien Shinhan, and Krillin instead, along with his wife number 18. Vegeta figures that if they decide to bring 18 along, they should also bring number 17. However, Bulma wonders if he's still evil, and on top of that, they have no idea where he might be, so Goku takes off to ask number 18 about him. Over in Universe 11 on planet Boss, the Pride Troopers fight against a giant crab monster. A big-eared trooper known as Dispo rushes in to save a child, and Toppo arrives to shoot the monster's claw off. Toppo wonders where Jiren is, and Dispo explains that he's off on a distant planet named Tawale recapturing aliens, aiming to return once the situation is under control. Suddenly, the crab monster fires an enormous amount of foam from his mouth, trapping everyone around him. Dispo tries to attack, but Toppo advises against it as he might hurt the civilians in the process. As the situation seemed to spiral out of control, suddenly, Toppo notices something flying toward them in the distance. It was a hero who'd arrived, completely smashing the monster through the planet's floor and shrinking him down to size with ease, eliminating the threat. It was Jiren, the warrior Toppo had mentioned, who'd finished taking care of the alien threat and flew to the Pride Trooper's location on his own. We cut back to Belmont, who explains that Jiren has devoted himself to justice, doesn't act on self-interest, and won't even kill bad guys. There is one thing that can bait him into joining the tournament though, and that's the Super Dragon Balls that can grant him any wish of his choice. Belmont then tells the Supreme Kai to take him to Jiren so he can convince him. Back on planet Boss, Jiren initially declines to participate in the Tournament of Power when asked by Toppo, stating that he won't save their own universe at the cost of others being erased. However, from above, Belmont appears, stating that Jiren's wish could come true should they win. After some thought on his mysterious wish, Jiren decides to participate, but only on the condition that he will return to Universe 11 should any trouble occur while he's away. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, a special television broadcast showcases Earth's hero Hercule taking on and defeating Cell. Hercule, now on live TV, comments to the interviewers how many miracles took place back then more than 10 years ago, including the resurrection of all the people killed by Cell. Watching the broadcast from their home, Krillin comments to his family how it was the Z fighters who asked Shenron to bring them back. The interviewer then asks for a comment on the mysterious young man who was seen standing in the spot where Cell disappeared, but Hercule says it's fake news and reiterates that Cell is totally gone for good. Upon hearing that Hercule saved the Earth yet again 7 years later in the battle with Majin Buu, number 18 turns the television off. Goku then arrives at their home, intent on asking Krillin and 18 to participate in the upcoming tournament. Unwilling to tell the two of their universe's potential erasure per Beerus' instruction, Goku eventually settles on a lie, stating each participant will win 10 million zeni each, which convinces 18 to get involved. Goku inquires where 17 is so he can invite him to participate as well, but 18 only knows that he's working in some wildlife sanctuary, but doesn't know the name. Krillin says to ask Dende as he can see everything from the sky, and Goku heads off to recruit his remaining teammates. Upon Goku's arrival to the lookout, Dende tells Goku that he's already aware of the trouble they're in, having figured something was up when Beerus and the Supreme Kai had arrived on Earth. Mr. Popo states that this is all Goku's fault, but Dende admits that it's also thanks to Goku that they have a fighting chance at all. Dende agrees to show Goku where number 17 is, and the lookout begins flying off to the south, much to Goku's surprise. As they travel, Goku wonders why 17 became a good guy, to which Dende explains that Krillin's wish for the bombs to be removed from he and 18 triggered him to regain his humanity, so to speak. Dende further explains that it seems that number 17 is even stronger than he was back then, and it would be terrible if he were still their enemy. Goku seems surprised by this, to which Popo notes that Goku's been too preoccupied with all the matters in space that he's been neglecting what's been happening back on Earth. That aside, Dende goes on to ask Goku if he knows of a boy with extraordinary abilities living in a small village to the south, but Goku is unaware of who he's referring to. This prodigy is revealed to be Oob, the reincarnation of Majin Buu, otherwise remembered as the most formidable enemy Goku's ever faced. Dende tells Goku that he must train him someday to use his power for good, and the Saiyan says that he'll remember. As they arrive above the island in question, Goku quickly flies down to search for number 17. He's surrounded on the ground by wildlife, only to be caught up in the next moment in a gang of poachers chasing after them. Goku has no idea what 17 looks like and assumes that one of the head poachers is him. The poachers, however, spot the actual number 17 and open fire, only to be easily handled and tossed into the distance. Number 17 glares at Goku and attacks him, believing he's one of the poachers, and the two trade blows as Goku powers up to Super Saiyan 2 and eventually Super Saiyan 3. 17 surprisingly holds his own and knocks Goku to the island floor, although the Saiyan uses instant transmission before he can damage the habitat. Goku attempts to talk to 17 peacefully, but the android blows him away with a ki attack. As he then attempts to launch a large energy sphere toward the Saiyan, Goku yells to 17, introducing himself. Goku's voice and appearance are now familiar to number 17, having witnessed him inside Cell during the final battle. Goku tells 17 he needs to talk to him, but the park ranger states he needs to wrap things up with the poachers first. Later that evening and night, after dealing with the remaining poachers, 17 declines to participate in the tournament, saying he has to protect the wildlife at all times. Goku understandably becomes persistent and desperate under the circumstances, then stating that everyone's lives are on the line. 17 demands an explanation, and even after explaining everything, including the potential erasure of the universe, number 17 still refuses to participate, figuring if they all get erased, at least they'll all die together. However, upon hearing that Krillin will be fighting, 17 begins to change his mind as he feels he owes Krillin a favor, being as though he was responsible for removing the bomb from his body over 10 years ago. Goku also explains the benefit of the Super Dragon Balls for the tournament's winner, and 17 says he'd love a cruiser to sail around on with his family. Goku's surprised that 17 didn't want to wish for anything like world domination, and offers to give him the Super Dragon Balls even if he isn't the last one standing out of their universe's contestants. Back at the TV studio, Hercule leaves to check in with Boo, who's unfortunately fallen into a deep slumber. While he normally only goes to sleep for moments at a time, every so often he goes into a 2-month hibernation. Hercule calls Bulma to let her and the others know, distracting her from thinking about Yamcha as a possible team member. Beerus threatens to throw Boo out of bed, and Hercule offers to participate in his place, although Vegeta declines his offer immediately. The group are down to only 8 competitors now, so Vegeta suggests they get Gohan. Whis calls Goku to relay the news, and the Saiyan heads to Piccolo, who wants Goku to grab him some senzu beans in preparation to train Gohan for the Tournament of Power. Over in Universe 6, Kappa visits his homeworld planet Sadala at Champa's insistence to gather the best fighters, unconcerned of whether they're good or bad guys. The Saiyan notices a vehicle drive-by that should be one of their own, and the two men discuss being in someone named Caulifla's territory, but remember they're soldiers of the Sadala army after all. Their car comes to a sudden stop when a woman appears in front. It's revealed to be Caulifla herself, and she demands the men hand everything they have over to her and her 3 partners. Though one of the men know of Caulifla's strength, the other grows upset and attacks the woman, who easily dodges the punch and slams the man into a nearby building. As she and her pals go through the Sadala army's stuff, they realize the bags are filled with food and jewels meant to be tributes to the king of Sadala himself. The attacked man then pulls out a gun, which disappears just as quickly as he drew it, as one of the other women with Caulifla casually holds it behind her back and proceeds to crush it with ease. Caulifla and the others leave to sort through the loot when Kaba appears at the door, shooting a key blast to shoot a gun out of one of the hoodlums' hands. Kaba presumes the woman in charge is Caulifla, and she remains unfazed. Back in Universe 7, Supreme Kai wonders if the other universes have chosen their warriors yet, as Bulma walks by to find he and Whis conversing, wondering if they'll be getting any sleep. Whis states he has no need for sleep, and Supreme Kai is still worrying over the selection process of suitable warriors for Universe 7. Back to Universe 6, Kaba is clearly making little progress with Caulifla, as he's seen flying through the air following an attack from her. Caulifla expresses no interest in joining the tournament unless Kaba can somehow force her to, although she has yet to meet a single Saiyan who can manage to defeat her. Kaba then transforms into a Super Saiyan and quickly moves behind Caulifla, who's now unable to keep up with his attacks. Kaba references the transformation by name and states the Saiyans of Universe 7 can all do this, further confusing Caulifla. Following an extended series of attacks, Kaba stops short of delivering a final blow to Caulifla, instead extending his hand to show one of the stolen jewels she had around her neck. Caulifla's cohorts watch on as Kaba demands its return and further explains their situation as once again, the tournament will consist of other Saiyan warriors who have evolved even further than them. Kaba then promises to teach Caulifla how to transform if she joins their team, and she agrees. In the meantime, somehow one of Caulifla's cohorts has stolen the jewel back again from Kaba without his noticing, leaving him in awe. Back in Universe 7, Beerus wakes up at Capsule Corp to find Krillin there, who states that Master Roshi will also be joining them. Krillin then mentions what some of them will be doing with the prize money, which confuses Vegeta. An hour later, Goku returns from Tien's house after convincing him to join the team, and Krillin gets upset with him for lying about the true stakes of the Tournament of Power, but ultimately agrees to still fight. To smooth things over, Bulma offers to still pay 18 and Roshi, assuming Universe 7 wins, pleasing Goku but annoying her. The group still needs an additional teammate though. Goku states he wishes he'd asked Future Trunks to stay a bit longer, and Beerus notices that everyone they've chosen is from Earth, no thanks in part to Frieza and his army being wiped out. Goku then gets the bright idea to bring Frieza back from the dead to fight with them, shocking everyone in the room. The group explains that they wouldn't have enough time to gather the Dragon Balls to revive him, but Goku states that they could use fortune teller Baba to bring him to Earth for 24 hours, same as she did with him and Vegeta during their battle with Buu. Vegeta questions Goku's desperation, assuming they'd still be able to win with their team as it stands already. Goku, however, admits that he already lost to someone in Universe 11, and apparently the universe seems to have an even stronger ally than that on their side. To confirm, Goku asks Whis if there are stronger warriors than Universe 7 out there, and Whis explains that he doesn't really make it his business to know about them, but it's possible that some warriors could be participating that no one's ever seen or heard of before. In Universe 6, Kaba travels off with Caulifla, who's apparently mastered the new Super Saiyan transformation already. Kaba notes that Universe 7's warriors apparently had a lot of trouble with it, which prompts Caulifla to note that she's more talented than them. In the back seat, Kaba's also asked one of Caulifla's cohorts, Kale, to tag along as they need all the help they can get. Caulifla admits that Kale is promising, but still has a ways to go, and she nervously acknowledges the statement. Back in Universe 7, Krillin concedes that they may need Frieza, and even Vegeta is willing to go along with the plan. Beerus comments on how low Universe 7's fallen to be recruiting dead people, though Whis sees it as a unique move and says they should wait to see how this plays out. Down in Frieza's own personal hell, the Tyrant awakens from a flashback of his loss against Vegeta and Goku to a scene of parading fairies and Goku himself standing before him, commenting on how nice things are down there. Goku then offers Frieza a chance to get out for the next 24 hours, but Frieza can tell there's more to the story than he's letting on. The next morning, Goku has still not arrived back with Frieza. The others have all gathered though: Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, number 18, number 17, Tien Shinhan, and Master Roshi. Vegeta comments on Gohan's growth and assures 17 that his island is in good hands with Trunks, who'd been trusted along with Goten to watch over it to make sure poachers don't hurt the wildlife. In Goku's absence, the group assumes he failed to get their last member. Tien assumes that Goku is off getting Yamcha and says if it comes down to it, he'll go to get Chaozu himself. Just then, fortune teller Baba appears with Goku and Frieza, each looking rather beaten as the group is shocked by Frieza's presence yet again. Goku apparently had to do some persuading to get him to tag along, and Piccolo throws them each a sensu, stating they need to get moving. As Vegeta mocks Frieza for the halo over his head, Goku notes that the tyrant's apparently gotten even stronger, using his time to image train in preparation to murder everyone. Beerus says he'll stop Frieza himself if it comes down to it, but Frieza says he's only joking. Whis wonders how Goku managed to convince Frieza to join in the first place, and the tyrant reveals it took a promise of his complete resurrection should their universe survive, much to everyone's shock. Beerus and Whis gather everyone up in a circle and tells them to hold hands as it's the only way to transport them all together. Frieza initially refuses to touch Goku, but Beerus threatens to erase him and he complies. Beerus then takes the time to explain that this is a battle royale and they all need to work together for once. He urges everyone to focus on teamwork to conserve their energy so they can get rid of the enemies together, to which the group agrees. Whis then contacts the Grand Priest and announces their readiness, and Bulma bids everyone a farewell as the group departs for the Tournament of Power. Universe 7's team arrives in the world of Void alongside teams from other universes. Vegeta and Gohan figure that their ability to fly will be an advantage so they won't get knocked off the stage, but as Whis correctly deduces, the group is unable to fly in this tournament. This restriction is only on competitors though, as Beerus, Whis, and Supreme Kai are able to fly, and it doesn't affect winged creatures from other universes as the ability is a part of them. The gravity has also been independently adjusted according to each fighter's planet, which impresses Gohan. Champa and his team from Universe 6 arrive with Vegeta already in tears from Caulifla's insults. Champa then tells the Saiyan that if he refuses to fight, he'll make her regret it, although she doesn't seem worried at all. Goku greets Hit, who correctly assumes that the tournament is a result of the Saiyan's actions, and swears not to lose to him again as he's gotten stronger since their last encounter. In the distance, Kaba explains who the Universe 7 Saiyans are to Caulifla, which includes Vegeta, who taught him to become a Super Saiyan. Frieza and Frost also meet, agreeing to team up with one another for the time being. Goku and Vegeta look toward Universe 11, assuming one of the warriors must be Jiren. Goku wanders over to say hello to Toppo and introduce himself to Jiren, who immediately dismisses Goku, stating that he's pathetic and he'd rather not waste his time on him. Goku steps away, and taking another look at their competition, Bulma deduces that compared to Jiren, every contestant in the tournament is pathetic and they shouldn't be worried. The Grand Priest greets all of the teams and introduces the two Omni Kings as Beerus, Supreme Kai, and the others take their seats, Beerus demanding that their universe's team works together. Champa and Beerus take swipes at each other's teams, while Piccolo, Gohan, and others are confused over a universe that appears to only have 8 fighters. The Grand Priest then explains the rules, as the fight will last 100 tacks, which equates to about 48 minutes in Earth time. The central pillar in the arena will descend as time passes, and the fight will officially be over when it reaches the bottom. There are no weapons allowed, killing is forbidden, and the objective is to knock the opponent out of the ring, who will then be warped into the stands afterward. The tournament begins, and as Gohan begins to prep everyone for teamwork, Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, 17, and 18 all rush out in different directions on their own. Each of them manage to immediately take out various fighters except for Goku, who's rushed by the majority of the Pride Troopers from Universe 11 all at once. Goku's forced to transform into a Super Saiyan and knocks them away, then setting his sights directly on Jiren. As all the fighters continue to clash, Frieza stops to speak with Frost, offering him a tip that the bald fighters on his team should pose no threat and could be knocked out easily. Frost questions Frieza's motives since reducing his team's numbers could result in a loss, but Frieza says that he's only concerned with revenge on the Saiyans, and Frost agrees to play along. Krillin, Master Roshi, Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien Shinhan decide to stick together, but suddenly the group is attacked by Vegeta. When the group dodge his attack, Frost takes the opportunity to knock off a distracted Krillin, eliminating him immediately. Beerus yells at Krillin once he reappears in the stands, and Champa laughs at his brother for already losing a fighter until one of his own appear, saying that he had no time to use his magic spells to avoid getting eliminated. Supreme Kai then notices that several fighters from other universes are also appearing in the stands. Back in the arena, Frost is fighting Tien and Master Roshi, preparing to eliminate them both next. Gohan notices his team having trouble and tries to help, but he's stopped by the trio of danger of Universe 9. The team of Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil attack Gohan as a group, and the young Saiyan has trouble with their teamwork. Piccolo is fighting against 3 other members of Universe 9, and Tien tells Master Roshi to dodge before he fires a Neo Tri-Beam at Frost. The blast attracts the attention of other fighters nearby, and with Tien already exhausted, Master Roshi tells him not to overdo it. Krillin wonders if the attack worked, and Beerus confirms it didn't, pointing out Frost emerging from the smoke completely unharmed. Frost then suddenly charges at Tien and lands a hard punch, eliminating him. He then directs his attention to Master Roshi, stating that he'll be the next to go. The Universe 7 spectators notice Frost conversing with Frieza, and they speculate that Frieza's leaking intel about his teammates to Frost. Krillin yells to Goku to go for Frost, as he's the biggest threat to their team, and Goku, having been preoccupied in his fight with Universe 11, is surprised that Krillin and Tien are both already eliminated. Goku then spots Frost about to attack Master Roshi and protects him, then advising that he and Master Roshi fight Frost together. However, Roshi yells at him, telling Goku to focus on his own opponent since he wants to fight Jiren. Frieza then tells Frost to pull back since Goku would likely be too much for him to handle, and the two take off. Frieza then asking Frost if he's currently in his final form, to which he answers yes. Frost is surprised to hear that Frieza has another transformation up his sleeve, and Frieza advises that Frost fight at full strength for the rest of the first half, and when he's tired out, he'll jump in and take over, which Frost agrees to. Meanwhile, Piccolo is fighting Razzle, who has him trapped and flying through the air, preparing to drop him out of the ring. Gohan, still fighting the trio of danger, notices his master in trouble and kicks out an explosive wave to knock the brothers away. Gohan then jumps into the air to save Piccolo, who notices this and moves his head out of the way so Gohan can land a clean hit on Razzle. Gohan begins to fall out of the ring, but saves himself by firing a Kamehameha to propel himself back in. As Razzle falls, he's saved by his teammate Hop's extensive claws. The remainder of Universe 9 then gather in front of Gohan and Piccolo ready to attack, but Frost suddenly zooms past the two, firing a huge blast at Universe 9 and knocking one of their members known as Oregano out of the ring. Universe 9 member Hyssop suddenly appears behind Frost and attempts to crush him with a punch, but Frost overpowers the large warrior and whirls him around, knocking him into Razzle and eliminating them both. Frost then turns his attention to the other warriors of Universe 9 and knocks them all out of the ring as well. With just the trio of danger remaining, they retreat to avoid being knocked out, and Frieza is impressed by Frost's performance. The tyrant says Frost has done enough and prepares to step in, but decides to give him one more piece of advice as he grabs the fighter by his throat and tells him never to trust anyone. Frieza then kicks Frost out of bounds to the surprise of Champa and the other spectators, and Whis realizes that this was all a part of Frieza's plan, using Frost to get rid of the weaker fighters. Meanwhile, Gohan and Piccolo are surrounded by the trio of danger, and Piccolo advises that he and Gohan split up, since the group are too much trouble together. Bergamo orders his brothers to follow Gohan while he follows Piccolo, and Basil and Lavender gang up on Gohan, but they're suddenly blasted and knocked off the arena by Frieza. Bergamo is the only fighter remaining from Universe 9, and he's cornered by Piccolo. Piccolo tells him to jump to spare himself the pain, but Sidra yells to Bergamo to hang in there, noting that it's the end of their universe if he's eliminated. Piccolo, hearing this, hesitates as Bergamo pleads for mercy, but Frieza suddenly knocks him off, reminding Piccolo with a smirk that this is about their own survival and he'd be wise to remember that. With Universe 9 now completely eliminated from the competition, their universe is erased by the Omni Kings, leaving just their angel. The fighters all stop their battles distracted by this, and the Grand Priest reminds them of the rules, with Supreme Kai afraid that even the gods will be erased from their universe should they lose. Amidst all the tension though, Beerus dramatically yells to his universe's warriors that losing is certainly not an option, and the remaining fighters hear him, as Goku states they'll be doomed either way if they lose. With Universe 9 now eliminated, there are now 43 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. The gods of destruction from the exempt universes discuss what just happened, commenting on how each universe up till now seems to have lost a few fighters, except for Universe 11, which still remains in the lead. Meanwhile, Goku as a Super Saiyan confronts Toppo and Dispo, but soon finds himself completely outmatched, unable to land a single blow to the swift Dispo, who creates an opening for his teammate Toppo, who begins to pummel Goku into the floor. As Goku begins to realize that he's running out of power, he notices Hit getting knocked down in the distance by Jiren. Goku then transforms into his perfected Super Saiyan blue form and knocks Toppo away as he rushes in to attack Jiren. However, a single ki wave from Jiren is enough to knock Goku backward towards Hit, surprising Beerus and Krillin in the spectator seats. Goku recovers and wonders if Hit was able to use his time skip on Jiren, but Hit says it proved to be useless against him. Toppo and Dispo join Jiren in order to help him fight against Goku and Hit, but Jiren tells them there's no need as he'll deal with the two by himself. Goku rushes in to attack Jiren, attempting to catch him off guard with an instant transmission, a barrage of physical attacks, and even the burst Kamehameha, but none are able to move Jiren an inch. Jiren then knocks Goku away and uses a barrage of punches on him, nearly pushing him off the edge of the arena completely. Just as he's about to deliver the final blow to the Saiyan who he addresses as the Nameless Warrior, Hit intervenes with a kick, knocking Jiren away and giving Goku the perfect chance to get back up on the arena. Noting that Hit had just landed a blow, Goku wonders if he found a way to fight without using his time skip, to which Hit states that ever since Goku had broken through his time skip during the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, he's given up merely relying on special abilities and instead learned to hone his own strength. Hit then removes his cloak and begins a physical assault on Jiren, but just like Goku, he comes up short, the Saiyan then joining in, but the two are still unable to find any advantage in the battle. Hit then tells Goku that he has a new special move, one that he can only pull off if the two work together and use their full power on Jiren. Goku gives it some thought though and regresses to his base form, telling Hit that he wants to beat Jiren on his own and that there's still a wall he needs to overcome during this tournament in order to stand a chance of winning it. Hit accepts this, but decides to continue with his plan, and after powering up, he uses a new technique called time lag on Jiren that significantly lowers his speed to the point that he can't land a blow. Hit explains that time only for Jiren has been warped, and the Angel of Universe 6 Vados explains that due to the power difference between the two, Hit wasn't able to freeze Jiren, but he could at least slow him down enough to gain an advantage. Hit is able to push Jiren to the edge of the arena with confidence, but just as he's about to knock him off, Goku notices that Jiren has been holding back. Jiren then suddenly increases the speed of his attacks to overcome the time lag and uppercuts Hit, knocking him far into the air and off of the arena, eliminating him from the competition. Goku catches Jiren's attention and acknowledges he's caught on to his plan to conserve energy for now, and Jiren states that Goku's impressively perceptive if nothing else, as the Saiyan warrior notes that he finally remembered his name. And now, I'm gonna hand it over to my bro Cage, who helped me out with the video.
Thanks for having me on, bro. Editing this entire video almost killed me, but it was worth it. So anyway, let's get back to the tournament. Vegeta expresses shock that the mighty warrior Hit has been eliminated by Jiren. As Toppo and Dispo stand before the Saiyan Prince, Toppo tells him how Jiren would never fall for such tricks. Vegeta confirms that Toppo is the one who defeated Goku in the Zen exhibition match, and Dispo speaks to Vegeta, stating he's supposedly the second best warrior in Universe 7. Now riled up after hearing this, Vegeta proclaims himself as the strongest in all of existence and transforms into a perfected Super Saiyan Blue. He rushes towards the two and easily swats Dispo aside, attacks Toppo next and knocks him down. Toppo concedes that Vegeta may be on par with Goku's strength after all, but states he still won't be able to defeat them. Meanwhile, Android 17 fights against Botamo, the warrior from Universe 6, but his physical attacks seem to have no effect on his opponent. After Piccolo eliminates another fighter, he goes to assist the android, but 17 lands a mighty punch to Botamo's midsection, which causes his body to spring back and out of bounds. The two are then attacked from the air by two other fighters, but are able to avoid it thanks to Gohan, who was engaging in battle against another Universal Warrior. Along with Gohan's help, the three are able to quickly defeat the trio of warriors from Universe 10, and 17 blasts them all from the arena. The remaining three members of Universe 10 then band together to fight the Universe 7 trio for themselves, although they seem pretty worried. Elsewhere, Android 18 is shown talking to Ribrianne and her pals from Universe 2, as they gloat about their own beauty and call 18 ugly. Krillin, watching from the stands, finds it hard to imagine that Ribrianne would ever be considered beautiful, but Beerus admits that she is kinda cute. 18, however, doesn't care at all for this and says that it has nothing to do with one's strength. Ribrianne then launches several attacks at 18 without giving her any chance to counter, and she's grabbed up by the other members of Universe 2. Just as Ribrianne is about to finish her off, Krillin yells at them to unhand his wife, which attracts the attention of the girls, who are then shocked and ask who that gorgeous man is. 18 then states that Krillin is in fact her husband, which angers Ribrianne as she attempts to finish her off. However, her power begins wavering, giving 18 the chance to break free and quickly turn the tables on their fight. With her heart no longer in the battle, Ribrianne prepares to jump from the platform, but her friends urge her to stay. Impatient, 18 counts from 5 to give them time to either jump off willingly or be blasted. 18 is suddenly knocked off the platform herself by an unknown force. Universe 2's fighters wonder what happened, but Ribrianne's friends are then knocked from the arena at the same time. Ribrianne herself is then knocked around for a bit, then plunges from the arena into the stands by the same force that got rid of 18. The god of destruction of Hutella then praises the timing of his invisible fighter, and the two remaining warriors Gohan, Piccolo and 17 had been fighting are knocked out as well. Now aware of the presence of invisible fighters, Piccolo uses his senses to take the fighter by surprise and blast him off the edge of the ring and into the stands. Suddenly though, another invisible fighter attacks Piccolo from behind, but he attempts to counter, misses, and is hit hard in the stomach, sending him out of the arena and eliminating him. Once again confused as to what's happening, Quintella brags about their secret weapon. Gohan and Android 17 tried to focus on the enemy, but 17's hit hard and skids backwards towards the edge of the platform in between Goku and Jiren's battle. A nearby Dispo suggests to Jiren that they should retreat for the time being until they're aware of who their mysterious enemy is, and the two move away from the center of the action. 17 fills Goku in on the situation, and the Saiyan suggests everyone to sense the enemy's ki, although 17 reveals that he's not able to do so. Instead, the android uses his heightened hearing abilities and is able to determine the fighter's location, and it's not an invisible fighter after all, but a bug-looking fighter, a mere inch tall, who was too small to see. Panicked, the fighter tries to flee and leaps into the air to get away, but 17 simply blasts him off the platform to eliminate him. With another fighter gone, the Omni Kings express how much fun they're having watching all the battles and ask the Grand Priest how many fighters are left. The angel then brings up a board showing the 37 remaining challengers, with only 33 minutes remaining in the Tournament of Power. Meanwhile, Frieza fights against Caulifla, having little trouble overwhelming the Saiyan. Caulifla calls him out and only going after the Saiyans, and Frieza confirms this proudly, as he may not have a grudge against the Saiyans from Universe 6 specifically, but they still got on his nerves. With no other choice, Caulifla transforms into a Super Saiyan and engages Frieza in combat again. Frieza uses his telekinetic abilities to throw blocks of the arena at Caulifla. However, her sheer aggressiveness allows her to gain the upper hand on her opponent with a powerful close-range blast. Frieza decides to use his full power and transforms into Golden Frieza. In this form, the Tyrant is able to quickly turn the tide of battle as he begins to dominate Caulifla, causing concern for the nearby Kale, who quickly knocks off a Universal Fighter to go to assist her. As Frieza pummels Caulifla into the ground, Kale uses her incredible speed to strike at him, and while it causes little damage, it distracts him long enough for Caulifla to get in a couple of shots. Eventually though, Frieza sees through Kale's actions, grabs her and tosses her out in front of him along with Caulifla. Cabba in the distance, seeing the state that his allies are in, knocks off her Universal Fighter and also rushes in to assist the pair. Frieza remarks that Kale's attacks actually had more sting to them than Caulifla's as a Super Saiyan, much to the surprise of Caulifla and Cabba, though Kale remarks they were just lucky hits. Caulifla rushes into battle once more, but it continues to be one-sided. Cabba, realizing Kale's been holding back, disregards her reasoning and tells her to use her true power, but Kale is hesitant due to her previous history and admiration for Caulifla. Cabba transforms into a Super Saiyan and enters the battle to save his comrade, but fares no better and is quickly overpowered by Frieza. Caulifla and Cabba attack together but still prove to be no match at all. The anger towards seeing someone so close to her suffer causes Kale to explode in fury as she becomes a Super Saiyan herself, surprising Caulifla as she immediately employs a vicious assault on Frieza that he's unable to defend himself against. Frieza comments on the new type of Super Saiyan that Kale's become, and suddenly Goku intercepts the battle to Frieza's annoyance. As he transforms into a perfected Super Saiyan Blue, he's able to stop Kale's first punch, but as she continues her assault, Goku begins to get pushed back, stating that she's getting stronger as she fights. As Kale attempts to land a solid blow to Goku, Frieza kicks the Saiyan out of the way and says he's more than capable of handling Kale himself if he just takes her seriously. Just then, Kale suddenly has another outburst, which Goku describes as her ki spiking once again. While Champa in the spectator seats thinks it's a good thing for that his fighter is doing so well, Vados voices her concern. She states that since this is probably the first time Kale has unleashed all of her power, she's losing her sense of reason, and with that, things could become much worse if she were to completely lose control. Kale struggles to regain her senses, having recently transformed into a legendary Super Saiyan, and and charges past Goku and Frieza, clutching her head as she falls to her knees. In a rage, she powers up with the resulting pressure of her energy knocking off multiple combatants from different universes. She then turns her attention to the nearby Vegeta and Toppo, swatting them aside and almost knocking them off the arena, but Vegeta is able to save himself and Dispo is able to save Toppo in the nick of time. Vegeta wonders what's going on with her just as she drops the remaining 2 combatants from Universe 4 off the arena, resulting in their defeat and their permanent erasure. In a panic, the God of Destruction from Universe 3 emerges from his robotic suit and orders the combatant Pepperoni to fuse with his allies to fight Kale. The scientist complies and they fuse to become the towering monster known as Agnilaza. However, Kale is unfazed and kicks Agnilaza in the chest hard enough to send him off the arena in an instant. As Universe 3 loses their last 4 fighters in one go, their universe is erased by Zeno. The tournament has reached the halfway point as the middle of the tower is 5 tacks down out of 10. As the Saiyan continues her rampage, Caulifla realizes that all this time, Kale's been keeping her superior strength hidden to protect Caulifla's feelings. Instead of getting upset at the differences in their power, Caulifla is overjoyed and encourages Kale to keep her rampage going. At the same time, Kale also eliminates the 2 final combatants of Universe 2 and they're promptly erased. From Universe 10, only 1 fighter is standing. Goasu apologizes to him for failing to come up with a better strategy, and with a final battle cry, the warrior known as Obuni attacks Kale, but is easily struck off from the arena, and Universe 10 is erased for good. Fighters from Universes 6, 7 and 11 remain. As Kale slows down, Caulifla goes to check on her, but Kale knocks her hand away and charges off. Caulifla calls out to one of her teammates Magetta to stop Kale, but the Saiyan lifts him off the ground with one hand and tosses him from the arena. The 2 Namekians of Universe 6 then speak to Kale, urging her to come to her senses, as they can surely win with her level of power. But Kale answers back by simply blasting the 2 off the arena at the same time. Caulifla asks Cabba what's wrong with her, to which Cabba responds that she may be the legendary Super Saiyan who only shows up once of every 1,000 years. He tells her that once a Saiyan is awakened, their power continues to grow and rampage until they self-destruct. Cabba transforms into a Super Saiyan and attempts to stop Kale before that happens, urging her to remember why she's fighting. But Kale is unable to rein herself in and deals a devastating punch to the Saiyan, knocking him out of the ring. Before he's eliminated though, he's caught by Vegeta, who mocks him for being tossed aside by an ally and tells him to explain what's going on. Kale continues her rampage, taking on the Pride Troopers excluding Toppo, Dispo and Jiren. They're outmatched individually, but as a team, they're able to slowly gain the advantage on the Saiyan. Vegeta, watching nearby, explains to Cabba that Kale's brute strength alone isn't enough to win, as she begins to reach her limit. Cabba pleads with Vegeta for advice on how to save his ally, but Vegeta berates him, stating that in the ring they're enemies, and he isn't there to offer aid as he heads back to finish his battle with Toppo. Caulifla approaches Cabba to come up with a plan as she pulls up her trousers. A pair of Patara fall from her pocket. Cabba wonders what they are, and Caulifla says that she stole them from the Supreme Kai of Universe 6 prior to the tournament. Champa realizes this and calls out to Caulifla, telling her to put one earring on her own ear and the other on Kale's ear so they can fuse. Caulifla expresses doubts about being able to hold Kale long enough to attach the earring, but Cabba volunteers to do it himself. As he rushes towards Kale in her battle with Universe 11's warriors, he's intercepted by Dispo and beaten with his lightning fast attacks. As Dispo prepares to finish him off, Caulifla transforms into a Super Saiyan and stops him, telling Cabba to save Kale. At that moment, Universe 11's warriors launch Kale off the arena. Cabba leaps off towards her and manages to attach the earring, then throws her back on stage and plummets in her place. With little time to act, Caulifla puts on the other earring and the two are suddenly pulled together, fusing together to become the female Saiyan warrior, now known as Kefla. Beerus exclaims that the use of tools is cheating, but the two Zenos' excitement about it allows it to go through unchallenged. Kefla declares that now the members of Universe 11 will be the ones to fall, and with overwhelming power takes out the Pride Troopers one after another, eliminating a total of 6. As Kefla wails on Dispo and Kershal of Universe 11, Goku is faced with Jiren but tells him to go and help his teammates. Jiren responds by saying that it's unnecessary, which confuses Goku. As Kefla then knocks down 2 members and readies herself to take out Jiren and Goku, Kefla fires a blast towards them, but suddenly Gohan appears and knocks it aside. He tells his father to settle things with Jiren while he takes on Kefla, and as she wonders who he is, Gohan tells her that he's a Saiyan just like her, but one born on Earth. With only 15 minutes remaining and 12 fighters left in the Tournament of Power, the Supreme Kai states that Universe 7 can win if they can run out the clock and keep their numerical advantage. Beerus and Whis, however, state on how unlikely that is, as Universe 7 wouldn't think that far ahead. As Kefla battles Gohan, she's soon able to throw him to the ground where she comes down on top of him. She mocks him by yelling at him to go Super Saiyan if he can. But Gohan responds by kicking her off him, claiming that he doesn't need to do that anymore as he's chosen to evolve as a human being rather than a Saiyan. Watching him from above, Piccolo comments that in the brief period of their training, Gohan regained his sense of battle and has now become even more powerful than he has ever been. Meanwhile, Goku restarts his battle with Jiren, transforming to perfected Super Saiyan Blue and charging in. Meanwhile, Vegeta continues his evenly fought battle against Toppo, telling him that he's stronger than he appears. Toppo states that he's a god of destruction candidate and can't possibly lose to a lesser being, then unleashes the reserves of strength he has left, but Vegeta doesn't seem worried. Android 17 compliments Master Roshi on still being in the tournament after all this time, and while he can't read energy like the others, he can still tell that he is quite strong as they ready themselves to take on the Pride Trooper pair of Dispo and Kasharal, who they view as the weakest contenders left. Frieza, on the other hand, is off in the distance, away from imminent conflict, and takes the opportunity to recover his stamina. Beerus turns to Champa, complaining about the use of Potara being used and calls him sneaky, but Champa is silent, clearly nervous about the fate of his universe. In the arena, Gohan and Kefla's battle reaches its conclusion. Both equally exhausted, Kefla laughs knowing that she's lost and couldn't even take out one Saiyan. Champa acknowledges defeat as he stands and thanks Vados for everything that she's done for him over the years. Gohan and Kefla at their limit rush towards each other for one final attack, throwing a punch on both sides and sends them off the arena, eliminating them in the process. Champa thanks Caulifla and Kel for their effort and turns to his brother Beerus, shouting and making one last face before he and all of Universe 6 are erased for good. Goku continues his battle with Jiren, unable to do any damage, and with a punch in return inflicts heavy damage on Goku, as Jiren states that it's about time to end their fight. Goku begins to power up, saying that he doesn't even care if what he is about to do wrecks his body in the end, because he just needs the power to overcome his limits in this tournament. As Beerus wonders what Goku's up to, Whis says that he's drawing deep from his reserves for a temporary boost in power, regardless of the damage, to which Krillin and Tien wonder if he's utilizing the same principles as Kaioken. Regardless, Goku's method allows him to deliver heavier blows than Jiren, but it still proves ineffective with no real damage done. Jiren tells Goku that power gained by destroying the body can't be used properly, and that he's made the same mistake as Kale as he swats him away like a fly. Meanwhile, Master Roshi has forced Kasharal to the edge of the arena. Although the warrior of Universe 11 can't understand why this old man is so strong, Roshi tells him that he shouldn't rely so heavily on his gadgets. As Kasharal goes in for one final punch, the Turtle Hermit intercepts it and with a swift display of martial arts skill, knocks Kasharal from the arena. Roshi then notices as Goku is shown struggling against Jiren, unsure of what to do. Roshi asks Goku what strength means to him, and Goku responds by saying that even as a Super Saiyan Blue, he can't keep up with Jiren, supposing he needs more power. Roshi tells him that fighting strength alone isn't a way to measure things, and that they utilize martial arts not to win fights but to conquer themselves. He tells Goku to think of all of his previous masters and what they taught him, as he remembers the words of Korin, Mr. Popo, King Kai, and Whis, of being told that he must be tranquil and train his body as well as his spirit, that he must allow his mind to control his movements. Master Roshi tells his former student that he'll teach him one last lesson on how to move well, and charges at Jiren. Jiren retaliates with a punch, but Roshi instinctively dodges it, much to Jiren's surprise. Jiren attempts multiple times to strike his opponent, but Roshi is able to dodge them all. In shock, Beerus asks Whis if these moves are perhaps a form of a special technique known amongst the gods. But after Roshi takes a few blows from Jiren, the angel states that there is a strong resemblance, but it is a far cry all the same. Roshi tells Goku to look into his heart to find the answer he's looking for, and goes in for a final punch, but Jiren is easily able to avoid it, and with a small chop to the neck, eliminates Roshi from the Tournament of Power. Beerus seemed to be unimpressed by Roshi's performance overall, but Whis tells him that Roshi's words seem to have caused a change in Goku. Jiren mocks the Saiyan for still needing teachings from his former master, and tells him that a man such as himself will never gain perfection as he knocks him away. Goku, however, remains calm, berating himself for his arrogance with his master, but thanking him for all he's done. As Jiren attempts to land a final blow, Goku dodges and appears in a new state, shocking Beerus. Beerus wonders if his eyes are deceiving him, but Whis confirms, stating that Goku has learned the technique which severs the link between the mind and the body, allowing the user to attack and dodge subconsciously, known as Ultra Instinct. Jiren asks Goku if he overcame the wall that he aspired to, and Goku confirms this. Vegeta in the distance, shocked that Kakarot's reached a new level of power. Beerus is upset that Goku pulled off the technique before him, and he and Jiren rush into battle once more. Goku, however, returns to his normal state almost immediately and gets hit hard. Whis stating that Goku must have found a chance to tap into Ultra Instinct briefly, but nothing more, as the angel acknowledges that the Saiyan struggle has only just begun. Jiren tells a battle-damaged Goku that a man with such little resolve will never be able to beat him. Meanwhile, during his battle with Toppo, Vegeta shows frustration that Goku jumped ahead of him yet again, breaking his limits while the Saiyan Prince is left struggling against his opponent. As Toppo tries to attack Vegeta from behind, the Saiyan Prince completely disregards the Universe 11 warrior and powers up, the force of his aura knocking Toppo out of the ring and onto some debris. Beerus noting that Vegeta's aura has completely changed. Vegeta then rushes in and attacks Jiren. However, the Pride Trooper is unaffected, but impressed that Vegeta was fighting Toppo while concealing his true power. Vegeta, however, replies that Saiyans evolve as they fight, and his power from a few minutes ago means nothing now. Jiren asks if Vegeta is trying to acquire the same power as Goku, but the Saiyan answers that he has no interest in the ability, stating it doesn't suit him, as well as being taught anything by anyone other than himself. Vegeta further points out that he never had a master, even his father King Vegeta. He says he's a prodigy forged by solo training and will continue to aim to the top by his own rules as he always has. Vegeta then rushes in to attack Jiren once more, Whis commenting that the Saiyan Prince plans to evolve in his own way, and given his fighting style, he's right in deducing that Ultra Instinct doesn't quite suit him. While Vegeta lands another clean blow to Jiren, Goku commences performance. Vegeta further explains to Jiren that while Goku and his friends were lazing about on Earth, he was fighting hundreds of battles throughout the cosmos. Jiren acknowledges Vegeta, stating that besides Goku in his Ultra Instinct state, there hasn't been anyone that's fought as hard as he has. However, Jiren then appears behind Vegeta and lands a blow to the back of his head, once again establishing his dominance. After a few more blows to Vegeta, Jiren explains that he always puts his life on the line when he fights, no matter how weak his opponent is, as that's how he was taught to fight by his own master. As Toppo watches from a distance, Frieza belittles him for relying on others for survival, attacking Toppo and bringing him to the brink of elimination. Dispo notices this during his battle with Android 17 and comes to his comrade's rescue, although all he's done is given Frieza the perfect opportunity. The Tyrant then jumps back into the ring and destroys all of the floating debris the two could use to get back, leaving Dispo and Toppo stranded on a single rock in the distance. Toppo tells Dispo to leave him, but Dispo states that he's too tired and wouldn't be able to make the jump from their distance anyway. While Frieza shows enjoyment in torturing the Pride Troopers in their vulnerable state, 17 tells them to finish them off already. Realizing their situation, Dispo then asks Jiren for help, as they can't return to the ring on their own. Jiren stares at his teammate in disappointment. Giving Goku the perfect chance to teleport to safety with Vegeta, Jiren teleports in front of 17 and Frieza and knocks them aside, as both fighters were unable to keep up with his speed. Jiren stares at Dispo as he asks for help, but the warrior tells the two to observe from the bench, as he will finish things alone. Jiren watches as the rock Toppo and Dispo are on breaks apart and the two are eliminated, ashamed that in their comrades' eyes they were just getting in the way. Jiren remains as the final opponent in the Tournament of Power against Universe 7, but Belmod isn't worried. Jiren surprised Frieza is still around, to which the Tyrant notes that he's the type to hide his true potential. He then transforms into Golden Frieza and rushes in to attack Jiren. Although his power pales in comparison to his, having been dealt a blow to the face, Frieza glances at the giant pillar in the middle of the ring, and Jiren realizes that he's trying to buy time. He then puts in more effort to distract Frieza by destroying a portion of the ring and attempts to knock him away, but his attack is blocked by Android 17. Jiren, however, puts in more force to knock Frieza and 17 out, but the android saves them by using his energy to land on nearby debris. 17 tells Frieza he'll take the lead for the next attack, but quickly realizes that he's no match for Jiren. The android, however, has a plan and asks Krillin and Android 18 to take care of his wife and children on their island. As Krillin slowly realizes what 17 plans to do, 18 calmly agrees, saying she's used to handling children. 17 thanks his sister and confronts Jiren, asking if he's fighting for the survival of his universe or to get his wish granted, and Jiren replies both. 17 then powers up after mentioning his wishes to keep his own universe safe and blows himself up, much to the surprise of Goku, Vegeta, and everyone else in the spectator stands. 17's explosion eviscerates half the ring, but Jiren remains unharmed and still in the competition, disappointed at witnessing 17's act, but stating it's time to end things. Goku steps forward though, remembering 17's sacrifice, but showing no anger at what happened, as his resolve to win and save his universe once again unlocks Ultra Instinct for him. Jiren then responds by powering up, finally taking Goku seriously, as he now has an aura surrounding him. Goku once again in his Ultra Instinct state charges into battle with Jiren, although this time he's able to hold his own, but is still unable to land a blow. Universe 7 spectators wonder how Goku's still standing, and Whis explains he's diving further and further into Ultra Instinct. As they continue fighting, Jiren notes how relaxed Goku appears, and he explains it's due to ridding himself of unnecessary emotions and putting his heart at ease. Jiren then powers up further as Goku closes his eyes in concentration. Jiren launches himself forward to attack, and instantly the Saiyan is able to enter a new state which turns his hair silver. Goku counters an incoming Jiren with a punch to the stomach, and Beerus and the other gods look on in amazement as Goku has finally perfected it, the true state of Ultra Instinct. Jiren falls to his knees in pain, but recovers quickly, continuing his assault on Goku, but is unable to land a single blow. The tide of the battle changes as Goku lands a few devastating blows and knocks Jiren down for the second time, surprising the members of Universe 11. Out of a cloud of dust, Jiren fires a mighty blast of energy, which Goku evades with ease, and Vegeta narrowly avoids. The blast takes out part of the spectator seats as Goku then powers up a Kamehameha and launches it at Jiren from above. Jiren is launched through the arena but narrowly avoids elimination as he holds on to the edge. He hoists himself up and powers up even more, both trying and failing to hit Goku so much as one time as he finds himself being dealt further damage by the Saiyan. Despite the enthusiasm coming from Universe 7 spectators, Whis notes that this new boost in power still won't be an easy victory. He goes on to further explain that Jiren's potential is immeasurable, resulting in his continuous improvement and counterattacks through sheer determination. Goku, however, having recently tapped into Ultra Instinct, is actually struggling, as every subconscious reaction his body makes takes a toll on him, for he must train further to wield the technique at its full potential. The battle rages on, as everyone wonders whether Jiren will run out of stamina first, or if Goku's perfected Ultra Instinct will wear off instead. Universe 7 is unable to keep up with the warrior's speed in battle, but suddenly, Whis confirms Goku's defeat. Jiren finally lands a hit on Goku, launching him aside as his perfected Ultra Instinct vanishes and he returns to normal. Vegeta is able to catch the Saiyan before he falls off the edge, and Jiren vows not to lose. He's determined to become the perfect force for justice, just as his master had wanted. Jiren tells the Saiyan pair that he'll use his wish on the Super Dragon Balls to resurrect his master Gichin, who'd previously been slain by a monster. Dispo in the sands voices his surprise at this, unaware that the death of his master was still affecting Jiren. But Toppo tells him it's due in part to Jiren never receiving approval and recognition as his master's successor. Vegeta mocks Jiren over the use of his wish, stating it to be a selfish one, but this angers Jiren, who charges towards them, uninterested in talking any longer. Vegeta orders Goku to stand and fight, as there are less than 3 minutes remaining, and due to his assault on the warrior, Jiren is now considerably weaker than before. As the two fight in perfect sync, Jiren is pushed back as Universe 11 watch on in amazement. Belmont then explains why Jiren's master never gave him the recognition he sought for so long, as he'd always been solitary in nature. His master was the one who recommended Jiren for the Pride Troopers team in the first place, but it wasn't to polish his strength, but to learn the value of teamwork. Witnessing the success that Goku and Vegeta are having fighting together, Beerus asks Whis if all the training with them was to work on their synchronization unknowingly, to which Whis confirms, stating that the Saiyans never even realized, as Goku and Vegeta continue fighting, prepared to blow Jiren away for good. Belmont and the Supreme Kai from Universe 11 continue their discussion on how Jiren's master wanted to teach him the importance of teamwork. However, he was killed by a demon before he had a chance to finish. As a result, Jiren now chooses to take on all burdens alone and refuses to trust anyone, even his own teammates. Belmont comments that he himself doesn't believe in such weak-minded thinking, but the angel Margarita reminds him that he used to be friends with Gichin, though Belmont says that was a long time ago. On the arena floor, Goku and Vegeta continue their effort in attempting to defeat the mighty Jiren as he continues to power up even more. The two Saiyans decide not to hold anything back and power up their strongest attacks, Goku using the Kamehameha and Vegeta using the Gamma Burst Flash. The combined attacks create an enormous flash of light as Jiren rushes in headfirst, covering everyone in the stands in dust. As they wonder if it had any effect, surprisingly, Jiren still remains standing, his shirt being the only thing to have taken damage. With a simple gesture, Jiren knocks Vegeta backwards and he falls from the arena, being eliminated in the process, and shocking Goku. Goku attempts to land an attack on Jiren, but the Saiyan crumbles beneath his strength and is pushed back, just as he appears to be on the verge of elimination. A death ball appears behind the two of them. Frieza, who still remains in the tournament, calls out to Goku to hold on to Jiren and keep him there so he can throw his attack. Goku then grabs Jiren from behind and Frieza throws his death ball, proclaiming that when he wins the tournament, his wish to be revived better be fulfilled. Frieza launches the blast, but Jiren is able to hold on to it and fling it upwards away in the air, much to everyone's shock. Frieza, however, in his golden state, charges himself directly at the warrior and delivers a solid blow to his stomach, the force of the impact knocking himself, Jiren, and Goku from the arena to be eliminated. Goku wonders why Frieza would do such a thing, as there are no contenders left, but just then, Android 17 emerges from underneath a rock, stating that he and Frieza's plan went smoothly after all, shocking Jiren, who falls out of the ring and appears in the tournament stands along with Frieza, Goku, and the others.
Grand Priest and others voiced their surprise, unaware that Android 17 was still competing as they couldn't sense his energy. Krillin inquires about his apparent self-destruction, and he states that he'd never do such a thing, reminding Krillin that he lost the ability anyway when he made the wish to have the bomb removed after the battle with Cell. Jiren apologizes to his team, and Dispo tells him that he should learn to rely more on his allies. Belmont apologizes to Jiren for not getting his wish to revive his master, but Jiren states there's no need to. However, Belmont sees through Jiren, realizing that he actually feels responsible for his death, but reminds him that his master wouldn't have wanted to be revived. The conversation is cut short as the Grand Priest tells the group that their time is up, and the two Zenos erase them from existence as Goku watches from a distance. Android 17, however, immediately asks for the other universes to be brought back, which surprises the Grand Priest. The Omni Kings then ask if that's what he really wants, to which he confirms. Upon summoning Super Shenron, the previously erased universes and participants are brought back into existence, much to their surprise as their respective angels fill them in on what's happened. The Grand Priest then states that the wish made by Universe 7 has elevated them up in the ranking, now making them third from the bottom rather than the second. As they all begin to make their way home courtesy of the Grand Priest, a few of the warriors interact with one another, and Jiren tells Goku that they'll soon meet again as the Saiyan responds in kind. On the way back, Goku wonders why 17 changed his wish, and he simply replies that he didn't want the Zenos to have their way. Vegeta then offers to give 17 a ship of his own for his family, stating that he's sure Bulma would happily give him one, being the savior of the universe. Frieza then chimes in, reminding Goku about his promise to revive him, but suddenly Whis uses his powers to grant him life again, saying that it's a gift from Beerus, who praises him for his strategy in defeating Jiren. Frieza appears to be surprised by the notion, but still vows to continue his evil ways, though Goku says he'll just beat him again if he does. Everyone returns to Capsule Corp, while Frieza returns to his own planet and 17 heads back to his island. Goku comments on how powerful Jiren was, and Vegeta agrees they couldn't even put a dent in him. As Bulma shows up, seemingly unhappy with Vegeta for promising 17 a ship, Goku takes a swift exit, and in no time at all, everything returns to normal across the multiverse. Sometime after though, Frieza causes more trouble once again, resulting in Goku and Vegeta having to defend the Earth from a Saiyan they had never encountered before. Like it or not, the Tournament of Power arc is a pivotal part in the Dragon Ball Super storyline. It not only introduced Ultra Instinct, but it also opened the door for numerous possibilities with other universes. I really loved how fast-paced it was in the manga, but I also loved some aspects of it in the anime that really gave the tournament a dramatic feel. But what did you think of this arc? Is it one of your favorites? Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks so much to my boy Cage for joining me in this arc summary. Check out his channel in the description. And thanks to my patrons that are supporting the channel as well. Your support really means a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.